Part 1, A Call in the Wilderness. The sun dipped low over the dusty backroads of a quiet Texas hamlet, its golden rays stretching across the cracked asphalt like a tender farewell. The air thrummed with the deep, resonant growl of motorcycle engines, a symphony of steel and freedom that defined the Lone Star Riders, a rugged band of souls led by their weathered captain, Jace "Hawk" Ellison. His piercing blue eyes, etched with the scars of a life forged through hard choices and silent regrets, scanned the horizon with a vigilance born of survival. The late afternoon heat clung to everything, slowing time itself, until a sound pierced the mechanical chorus, a faint, heart-wrenching whimper, almost human in its plea. "Hold up!" Jace barked, thrusting his fist skyward. The line of bikes screeched to a halt, their engines coughing into silence, leaving an eerie stillness that pressed against the riders' chests. There, in the center of the forsaken road, lay a German shepherd, its powerful frame slumped yet breathing in shallow, labored gasps. Blood streaked its tan and black fur, matting it into a tragic tapestry of survival. Jace dismounted, his heavy boots crunching the gravel, his usually stoic face softening with an unexpected tenderness as he drew near. The dog's vest bore the bold lettering, K9 Unit. And in that moment, Jace knew this wasn't just any stray, this was Titan, a police K9, a warrior left behind in a battle he couldn't yet comprehend. Titan's eyes, clouded with pain yet burning with a flicker of resolve, met Jace's gaze. The dog struggled to lift his head, as if clinging to a duty unfinished, a mission etched into his very soul. Jace knelt beside him, his calloused hand brushing the thick collar, where a small camera blinked with a stubborn red light. Without a word, he pressed the playback button, and the screen flickered to life. The footage was a chaotic dance of motion, Titan sprinting alongside a patrol car, his handler, Officer Liam Carter, shouting commands with urgency. Then, a black sedan veered into frame, masked figures leaning out, their guns spitting fire. The camera jolted violently before cutting to black, leaving Jace with a knot in his stomach. Something unspeakable had happened, and Titan was the lone survivor. "Where's your partner, boy?" Jace murmured, his voice a low rumble of concern. Titan whimpered, his eyes locking onto Jace's with a desperate trust that stirred something deep within the biker's hardened heart. The distant wail of sirens shattered the moment, a reminder of the world closing in. Red, one of the gang's seasoned members, called out from his bike, his voice tight with urgency. "Cops are comin', we gotta roll. Last thing we need is them pinning this on us." The gang shifted uneasily, their leather jackets creaking as they glanced toward the flashing blue lights emerging on the horizon. Jace remained rooted, his focus unwavering on Titan. For years, he'd run from responsibility, from the weight of caring too deeply, but now, a fierce pull gripped him, a refusal to abandon this wounded soul. Staying meant facing the law, stepping into a mystery that could unravel his life. But leaving Titan behind felt like a betrayal of something sacred. As the sirens grew louder, their blue and red reflections dancing off the pavement, Jace made a choice that would redefine his path forever. The patrol cars screeched to a stop, doors flying open as officers emerged, weapons drawn. "Drop the dog and step back," one shouted, his voice sharp with authority. Jace froze, Titan's shallow breaths filling the tense air. For a heartbeat, he considered compliance, but the footage replayed in his mind, the ambush, the handler's absence. Whoever had done this wasn't done. And Titan held the key to the truth. The screech of tires cut through the standoff as Red roared back with the gang's battered black van, its doors swinging wide. "Let's move." "Hawk," he yelled. Without hesitation, Jace scooped Titan into his arms, the dog's weight pressing against his chest, blood seeping into his leather vest. Titan's eyes fluttered open, a mix of trust and desperation locking onto Jace's face. "You've been through hell, haven't you?" Jace whispered, his voice softening with a rare gentleness. The officers shouted. Bullets ricocheting off the pavement, but Jace dove into the van as Red floored the gas, tires squealing into the night. In that moment, Jace became a fugitive, driven by a love he hadn't known he possessed. Determined to uncover the truth behind Titan's suffering. The van hurtled down a desolate highway, the engines roared, drowning the heavy silence within. Red gripped the wheel, his knuckles white. Glancing nervously in the mirror. "Hawk, what the hell were you thinking?" he snapped, frustration lacing his tone. "We're fugitives now, Holland, a bleedin' cop dog, they'll have the whole state on us by dawn." Jace sat with his back against the van wall. Cradling Titan, whose breathing steadied but remained weak. He ignored Red's outburst, his mind fixed on the dog and the weight of his decision. The footage replayed, the chaos. The gunfire, the masked men, hinting at a deliberate plot. "Look at us now," Red continued, slamming the wheel. "This ain't our fight." Jace's gaze hardened as he met Red's eyes in the mirror. "It is now," he said firmly. "Titan's partner is gone, dead or missing, and if those men come back, they won't stop with him." Titan whimpered weakly, as if affirming Jace's resolve. Silencing Red's protests. The van veered onto a dirt path leading to the gang's hidden garage, a ramshackle refuge nestled in the woods. As they rolled to a stop, Jace shouted, "Get the medkit and water." The gang scrambled, their uncertainty palpable, as Jace laid Titan on a makeshift cot. "You're safe now," he whispered, though doubt gnawed at him. The gang gathered, their faces grim. Red finally erupted, "You're out of your mind, Hawk. We're criminals now, for a dog?" Jace straightened, his eyes locking with Red's. "Not just a dog. Titan's evidence. That camera might show why his handler's gone, why he's bleedin' in the road, and who those men were. Walk away if you want, but I'm seeing this through." The garage fell silent. The weight of Jace's words settling like a storm cloud. Outside, the forest loomed dark and still, but Jace felt the threat brewing, those after Titan wouldn't rest until they reclaimed him. And now, the Lone Star Riders were in their crosshairs. Part 2, Shadows of Loyalty. The garage's dim interior buzzed with tension as the gang processed their new reality. Jace knelt beside Titan. His rough hand gently stroking the dog's fur, now matted with dried blood and grime. Titan's breathing had steadied, but his body trembled with exhaustion, his brown eyes reflecting a quiet resilience that tugged at Jace's heart. The flickering light overhead cast shadows across the concrete floor, mirroring the uncertainty in the room. The Lone Star Riders, a brotherhood forged in rebellion, now faced a test of loyalty beyond their wildest rides. Red leaned against the wall, arms crossed, his voice cutting through the stillness. "You think they'll be back?" he asked, though the answer hung heavy in the air. Jace didn't look up. His fingers tracing the camera still attached to Titan's collar. "They're not done," he muttered, his voice low and resolute. "They came for him once, they'll come again. That camera's the key." He plugged it into an old laptop stashed in the corner, its screen flickering to life as the gang crowded around. The footage replayed, Titan racing beside the patrol car, Officer Liam Carter's urgent commands. The black sedan's deadly ambush. Jace slowed the clip, spotting a partial license plate in a fleeting frame. "There," he said, pausing it. "We've got a lead." Red squinted at the screen. "So what? The cops ain't gonna help us, we're out of their good graces." Jace's jaw tightened, his mind racing. "We don't need the cops. I know a guy, used to run tech for me back when I was dodging the law. He can trace this plate without blinking. The gang exchanged uneasy glances, the weight of their new path sinking in. This was no longer about petty crimes, it was a plunge into a darkness they barely understood. Yet, Jace's determination anchored them, his love for Titan's unwavering spirit fueling his resolve. As night deepened, the distant hum of an engine pierced the quiet, snapping Jace to attention. "Kill the lights," he hissed. Red flicked the switch, plunging the garage into darkness. The gang grabbed whatever weapons were at hand, a crowbar, a wrench, a rusty shotgun, instinct guiding their movements. Jace crouched beside Titan, whispering, "Stay quiet, boy," his hand resting protectively on the dog's neck. The beam of a flashlight swept the windows, and a black SUV idled beyond the trees, the same model from the footage. Jace's stomach churned. They'd been found. 3 figures emerged, their dark silhouettes moving with chilling precision. "We know you're in there," a calm voice called. "Hand over the dog. And we'll leave, no one gets hurt." The words carried a cold edge, a lie Jace saw through instantly. "They're here to finish him," he whispered to Titan, standing slowly, his eyes narrowing. The gang braced themselves, the air thick with anticipation. The leader's nod signaled the attack, and a stun grenade flashed through the window, its bang disorienting them. Jace gritted his teeth, gripping his crowbar. "Now," he shouted, and the fight erupted. Rick swung a wrench, felling the first intruder, but more poured in. Amid the chaos, Titan barked fiercely, his strength surging as if justice fueled him. Jace's focus shifted to the evidence table, grabbing documents, maps, photos, patrol routes, shoving them into his backpack. They fought through the maze of crates, dodging gunfire, until they reached the exit. The leader's icy stare followed them. "This isn't over," he shouted, but Jace didn't respond, racing to the truck with Red. As they sped off, Jace clutched the papers, vowing to honor Titan's silent plea for truth. The truck rumbled down the highway, the night stretching endlessly before them. Red broke the silence. "Who's this guy you're dragging us to?" Jace's voice was curt. "A tech whiz from my old days, Gus. He'll trace that plate without questions." An hour later, they reached Gus's shop, a rundown haven of blinking lights and scattered tech. Gus, wiry with thick glasses, smirked. Hawk Ellison, back from the dead. Jace slid the laptop forward. "Trace this plate," a black sedan ambushed a K9 unit. "Handlers missing, dogs hurt." Gus whistled, working swiftly. "You don't do easy favors," he muttered, then grinned. "Got it. Warehouse 2 towns over, shady spot." Jace's dread deepened as they drove toward the address. The warehouse looming like a specter. They crept through a breached fence, finding a nerve center, monitors, photos of Liam, evidence of a targeted hunt. Voices alerted them, and armed men emerged. "You've seen too much," the leader said. Jace stepped forward. "Why target a K9 unit?" The man shrugged. "The handler knew too much. You do now too." The fight was brutal. But Jace secured the evidence, escaping with Red, their hearts set on justice for Titan and Liam. The truck's engine hummed as Jace and Red sped away, the weight of their discovery pressing against their souls. The stolen documents, maps, photos, patrol schedules, lay scattered on the passenger seat, each page a testament to a conspiracy that had nearly claimed Titan and his handler. Liam Carter. Jace's mind churned, his blue eyes fixed on the road, while Red's grip on the wheel betrayed his unease. The Texas night enveloped them, a vast canvas of stars overhead. Yet the darkness below held secrets that threatened to consume them. "We've got M," Jace said quietly, his voice a blend of relief and steely resolve. The papers were their lifeline. A chance to expose the truth and bring justice to Titan's silent suffering. Red glanced over, his face etched with worry. "Yeah, but they'll come for us now. This ain't over, Hawk." Jace nodded, his heart heavy with the love he'd grown for the injured K9. Titan's trust, his unwavering spirit, had ignited a fire in Jace, a fire to protect, to fight, to honor the bond between man and dog that America held dear. Back at the garage, the gang tended to Titan, his wounds cleaned and bandaged, his eyes watching the door with a vigilance that mirrored Jace's own. The air was thick with tension. The rustle of leaves outside a constant reminder of the danger lurking beyond. Jace gathered the riders, his voice firm yet warm. "We've got evidence, proof they targeted Liam and Titan. We're talking this to the people who'll listen, but we need to move fast." The gang nodded, their loyalty to Jace unshakable, inspired by the love he showed for the dog who'd become their unexpected brother. Jace contacted an old friend, a retired cop named Hank, who still had connections in law enforcement. Hank's voice crackled through the phone, rough but kind. "Hawk, you're stirring a hornet's nest. Bring me what you've got, I'll get it to the right folks." They met at a deserted diner, the neon sign flickering like a beacon of hope. Hank pored over the documents, his eyes widening. "This is big, corruption, maybe a cartel. Liam's alive, I'd bet, held somewhere. Titan's your key." Jace's heart leaped, the thought of saving Liam fueled his resolve. The plan unfolded with precision. Jace and Red, with Titan recovering in the van, drove toward a suspected hideout, a warehouse flagged in the documents. The night was still, the air cool against their skin, as they approached under cover of darkness. Inside, they found Liam, battered but alive, guarded by men in dark suits. The fight was fierce, Jace's love for Titan and Liam driving each swing of his crowbar. They freed Liam. His gratitude a silent bond, and escaped with the evidence intact. As dawn broke, Jace stood with Liam and Titan, the horizon painted in soft pinks and golds. "Your family now," Jace said, his voice thick with emotion. Liam nodded, tears in his eyes, and Titan thumped his tail, a symbol of a love that had saved them all. The story spread across Texas. A tale of bikers and AK-9, igniting hope and inspiring a nation to cherish the loyalty between man and beast. 1. Loyalty knows no boundaries. Lesson: the story of Jace, Hawk, Ellison and Titan exemplifies the power of loyalty that transcends all boundaries, between human and animal. Past and present, outlaw and police K9. When Jace, a biker scarred by a tough life, chose to save Titan despite the risk of becoming a fugitive, he showed that loyalty isn't defined by circumstance or identity. Titan, despite his grave injuries, held a steadfast gaze, reflecting his unwavering loyalty to his missing handler, Officer Liam Carter. Message for American viewers: cherish the loyal companions in your life, be it family, friends, or pets, for they are your light in the darkest times. Like Jace, sometimes loyalty calls us to step out of our comfort zones to protect those we love. 2. Love ignites courage. Lesson: the love Jace developed for Titan, an unexpected bond born from empathy for the dog's suffering, ignited the courage to face danger head-on. From confronting the police, battling foes in the warehouse, to rescuing Liam, this love transformed Jace from a mere survivor into an unlikely hero. Titan's trust in Jace also inspired the Lone Star Riders to stand together in the fight. Message for American viewers: love can awaken courage within you, even when you think hope is lost. Like Jace and Titan, let your heart guide you past fear, for love is the strongest force to act for what's right. 3. Community strengthens us all. Lesson: the unity of the Lone Star Riders, though initially hesitant, became their strength to protect Titan and pursue the truth. From Red, who opposed but eventually supported, to the other members who fought in the garage, the story highlights that community, even an unlikely group of bikers, can overcome differences to do good. Jace's call to Hank, an old friend, further underscores the importance of a support network in times of crisis. Message for American viewers: America thrives on community spirit. Wherever you are, remember that true strength comes from standing together. Like the Lone Star Riders, trust those around you, they may be your salvation when you need it most. 4. Justice is worth the fight. Lesson: Jace didn't just save Titan out of pity, he fought for the dog and his handler's right to be vindicated. Tracking down evidence, facing the criminal organization, and rescuing Liam reflect his perseverance for justice. Titan, with his camera, became a symbol of buried truth, and Jace risked everything to bring light to the darkness. Message for American viewers: justice isn't easy, but it's worth the battle. Like Jace did for Titan and Liam, stand up for the truth, even when the world turns its back. That's the spirit of America. 5. Redemption lies in acts of love. Lesson: Jace, burdened by a regret-filled past, found redemption through his loving actions toward Titan. From a man who shunned responsibility, he became a protector, leading his gang into a fight for righteousness. His encounter with Titan not only saved the dog but also healed a part of Jace's soul, offering a redemption arc that many Americans can relate to. We all have a past, but acts of love can open a path to redemption. Like Jace, let your heart lead you to salvation, for even in darkness, love always finds a way to shine. Have you ever witnessed the loyalty of a four-legged friend like Titan? Share your story in the comments, we'd love to hear it. If this story touched your heart, please hit like and subscribe for more moving tales of love and courage. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next epic adventure, because true love, whether human or animal, never fades.